Hey guys, how you doing? Manny here. 2023, we made it another year. Doing this video for the Lassen Antelope Volcanic Academy. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Mr. Mason Greeley is the teacher who teaches math and adventure courses. It's also known as the Lava Academy in Northern California. So this video is something I promised for them to answer a lot of their questions that they have sent me. We've been coordinating with each other over 2022. They've been following my videos and my journey on the Pacific Crest Trail. So I did promise I'd answer their questions. 5th and 6th graders sent me like 3 questions each. I'm going to promise to get to 1 at least from each of you. The 7th and 8th graders sent in 1 question each. So I've got 49 students and 49 questions to answer. So this might be a 2-part video, but I'll get to them all. And I want to thank you guys for sending me all those fantastic drawings. They're just really amazing drawings of the Pacific Crest Trail and how you interpreted them from watching my videos. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go to the first question. Hey Flower, thanks for your question. Okay, what do you need for your hike? Everybody's different and may use more or less of what I suggest, but I highly suggest that you first have a backpack. There are different backpacks that you can choose from. A shelter or a tent, a sleeping bag or a quilt, and a sleeping pad. It could be a blow-up one or a foam pad, but those are the 4 main things that you need. Some people call them the big 4, or the big 3 may refer to your backpack, your tent, and your sleeping bag. And the 4th item is your pad, which could be the blow-up or the foam pad. Also gives you a little bit more heat and warmth, but some people don't even use the pads. Most people do. You'll also need food, and you'll need a food bag to store that food in, or if you're up in the Sierra in bear country, you'll need a bear canister. To cook your food, if you are going to cook it, most people do. Some people don't. They cold soak, which means that they just carry their food in water and let it soak and eat it later cold without using a stove. But if you do take a stove, you'll need your stove, which is a small little device that you screw onto your gas canister. And you can store that in a titanium pot or a large cup that you cook in. You'll need a lighter to start the stove if it doesn't start on its own with an automatic stove, which I wouldn't recommend anyway. Sometimes those things don't work, so you can carry a small little lighter. Most hikers carry the small little mini Bic lighters. You'll need a spoon or a spork, which is a combination like a spoon fork to dig in and eat with. Water. Of course, everyone needs water. Depending on whether you're in the hot desert, you may carry a lot more water than you would if you were up in the Sierra, where there's a lot of streams and spring water. And you'll need a water filter. That's really important to filter your water. You can screw that on top of your water bottle and drink right out of it, or you carry a fill bag to collect your water with, and then you filter it into your water bottles. You'll need good hiking shoes, and most hikers will use trail runners, but that's important too, to make sure it's right. The shoe is right for you. Everybody's different, so you'll have to try them on and figure out what's more comfortable for you so you can prevent getting blisters. You'll need some good socks too. You'll need a charging bank to charge your electronics, which would consist of maybe a headlamp, a phone, a GPS satellite tracking device, which is really important because you'll need to call for help if you get in trouble. So it's important to have a GPS satellite tracking device. You'll also maybe carry a camera or earbuds that you'll want to charge up. So you'll need a good charging bank. When you get to a town, you can charge that up or recharge it. You'll need clothing. You don't want to carry too much clothing, but you'll need clothing for the cold. You'll need maybe a puffy jacket, a hoodie, some base layers underneath. Most hikers just wear a long sleeve shirt and some shorts. Some people wear pants when they hike. You'll have to figure out what clothing is right for you, but the clothing you'll need can vary. for the snow, you may need some extra stuff like some gloves. You'll need equipment for the snow also, depending on where you're at, what the conditions are. You may need some crampons or some micro spikes, which keeps you from slipping. With the crampons, you can dig into the snow if there's some heavy snow. If it's icy and slippery on flat surfaces, you'll need micro spikes so you don't slip. Those are really important items to carry for your safety. You'll need to train yourself with that ice axe if you do carry an ice axe. Other people just use trekking poles. Some people hike without trekking poles, period, but I'd recommend them. You'll need a hat maybe and some sunglasses. A small first aid kit with maybe just bandages or band-aids and maybe some topical ointment to use if you get cut. You don't want to overdo it with the first aid kit, but you want to make sure you have the necessities in it, so you'll figure that one out. And then there's a poop system. One of the most general questions, which I'll answer now, is where do you poop? Well, when you're in the wilderness, you have to dig a hole. You dig a cat hole. And it's 8 inches deep, 8 inches wide, a couple hundred feet away from the trail or any water source. To do that, you use a trowel, which is, getting the lightest weight trowel that you can that's sturdy and firm enough, that's comfortable in your hand to dig with. And once you dig that hole, you go ahead and you do your business in that hole, and then you cover it up. You'll want to carry some toilet paper, wipes. Some people use a bidet, which uses water to clean yourself. Maybe some soap to wash yourself. Wash your hands after you're done. Pack it into a poopy bag, maybe a lightweight plastic bag, one of those doggy bags, and carry all that stuff away so you don't leave any trace behind you.
That was so good.
Would you like a dinner, man?
Oh, yes, I wouldn't mind if I do.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that answers your questions. For the most part, I think those are the necessities that you need. Some people carry more than that, which are considered luxury items, or they choose to carry more or less, like I said, depending on the person. Okay, Perky. What do I do if there is no room for me to put my tent up? That's happened before. And what I did, as you can see with these tents, there's doesn't take much room. And there's usually plenty of room. But when you get to a spot where there's a bubble and there's a lot of hikers, you're going to have to figure things out. So that's a good question. What I did when there was no camping, maybe 2-3+ miles, either before or after the only spot after hiking about 20 miles and being extremely tired, is I squeezed in. Hikers out there are just so kind, and everybody's looking out for each other, taking care of each other, and they all have the same goal, and it's just to continue on the trail and do whatever it takes. So they understand. They'll make room. So what I did was I put my tent up and with both poles, but it was drooping on one side. It was just enough for me to have cover, and the other hikers were kind enough to move over to give me room to do that. So you can squeeze in. There's always a way. Ginger ale. What would you choose if you had to choose between food or more stamina? Interesting question, because you need food to have stamina, right? Just with my experience out there, I carried much more food than I ate, and sometimes it's difficult to eat because you're putting in so many miles and you're just tired, or it's hot, or you're up in altitude and you just can't get it down. So just based on your question, my first instinct is to answer and say I would like more stamina, less food, because you need water to survive. You don't really need food. And if you know you're going to be close to a town to resupply and you had that choice, I'd go for more stamina. Slick. What shoes do you recommend for trail? I recommend Trail Runners, the Trail Runners that are right for you. There's different types, different brands. So you've got to go to a place like REI and try them on and see which ones work for you. Sometimes if you buy at REI, especially if you're a member, you could probably keep those shoes for up to a year as long as you don't beat them up. But if they don't work after a couple of weeks, or you take them on the trail and they're just not for you, you're getting blisters, REI will take them back, and then you pick another pair. But trail runners, the majority of hikers do use trail runners, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to get the ones that are waterproof because those are the ones that'll stay wet. You want them to dry because you're going to get them wet. Anyway, that is my answer and suggestion is trail runners.
Topos.
Black cat, how do you survive the desert?
Okay, Black Cat, what you need to do to survive the desert is you need to know your water sources. You've got to dress with protective clothing and gear to protect you from the sun.
Taking a break from the sun heat under a Joshua tree.
If you get a chance, find some shade, cool off, take a break. You don't want to suffer from heat exhaustion, or you don't want to be dehydrated. So you need to drink up. Make sure you have water. Know your water sources.
What I got left.
If you're not sure of a water source up ahead, go back to the last one. Water up until you find out where the next one is. But don't pass one without getting some water. Make sure you carry enough. And not much you can do about the wind. Just enjoy it. It's part of the adventure. Actor. What motivates me when days get hard? Oh, another good question. I think about the amazing sights to come. There's always a payoff, when you're pushing hard.
Halfway up.
And you're tired, you know that you're going to come up to an amazing view eventually, and that gets me through.
Gonna be an awesome day.
Vlogging on YouTube. A lot of my followers are expecting my YouTube videos, and I want to bring the trail to them, so they kept me going. That was another motivator. The town food, getting to town, knowing that you're going to have town food, and then catching up to see other hikers that you enjoy hiking with. Those are all motivating factors. Lashes. Are most of the people nice? I'm assuming you're talking about the other hikers, and the answer is quick and easy. A big yes. I think 99.9% of all hikers on that trail are just good people. I had no issues with any PCT hikers. The only issue I ever had was with a couple of day hikers who were trying to take up about 5 spots on a campsite. And, the ranger took care of them. But PCT hikers, just some of the nicest people you can imagine.
Good. We're recording. This is pretty cool.
Onward.
Onward! Let's go!